Founded in 1968 as a collaborative project between the Mount Vernon Ladies Association of the Union and the University of Virginia, the Papers of George Washington, PGW, editing fully convinced that neither the present age or posterity will consider the time and labor which have been employed in accomplishing it, unprofitable spent. At the end of the Revolutionary War, Washington's papers were sent to Mount Vernon for safekeeping. When George Washington stepped down after his 8 years as president, he had his secretaries remove any materials John Adams might need and had the rest of his papers sent home. One of the tasks Washington hoped to accomplish during his retirement was organizing his papers. On April 3, 1700, in his edition had edited Washington's words heavily, changing spelling, grammar, phrasing, and even entire sentences. Unfortunately, he was also free with giving away samples of Washington's handwriting from the letters he had in his possession. When Bushrod Washington died in 1829, he left George Washington's papers to his nephew George Corbin Washington, a Maryland congressman, who in 1833 agreed to sell the public papers to the State Department. In 1849 he sold the private papers as well. The Washington papers remained at the State Department until 1904, when they were transferred to the Library of Congress. In 1964 the Library of Congress microfilmed the papers, and in 1998 it digitized images from the microfilm on its website. As a part of the United States George Washington Bicentennial Commission, John C. Fitzpatrick prepared a 39-volume set of the writings of George Washington from the original manuscript sources, 1745 to 1799, 1931 to 1944. This edition surpassed the earlier work by Sparks, but Fitzpatrick only utilized manuscripts housed in major repositories like the Library of Congress and predominantly included documents Washington had written. In leaving out the correspondence that Washington had received, both Sparks and Fitzpatrick's works presented only one half of the story. No comprehensive or fully annotated version of Washington's papers was attempted until the creation of the PGW project. At a time when the papers of Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison were all being edited, George Washington, arguably the central figure in colonial America and the early Republic, was noticeably absent. In 1968, the Mount Vernon Ladies Association of the Union and the University of Virginia launched a new effort to publish the papers of George Washington. The project is charged with the task of preparing for publication a comprehensive and authoritative edition of Washington documents. It is currently headquartered in Alderman Library on the University of Virginia campus in Charlottesville. The project is determined to be the most comprehensive compilation yet and includes both outgoing and incoming correspondence. In addition, rather than only utilizing documents that resided in major repositories, the PGW project commenced a search to locate materials in libraries, historical societies, and public collections across the globe. The project has collected copies of more than 140,000 documents including correspondence, letter books, diaries, account books, and farm reports. The Washington Library owns approximately 1,000 documents written or received by George and Martha Washington, which can be accessed through the library's catalog.